Ambassador of Estonia. Let me briefly introduce her. Ambassador, Her Excellency Marje Luup is a multifaceted diplomat. She is serving as Estonia's ambassador to India since 2023. She is also accredited to Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. She acted as Director General for Estonian Development Cooperation and Humanitarian Assistance. She has a very interesting education history. She studied German and English philology, among other things, and studied international relations from Estonian School of Diplomacy. But what is more interesting about her, that her association with India goes back at least 40 years back, when she first read a book of Indian tales from an Estonian book series, Story of 100 Peoples. And also wanted to briefly introduce, of course she will have a lot more to say, that Estonia is one of the happiest countries in the world. Estonia ranks 34th, India ranks 118th, okay, and Estonia is among the cleanest, has one of the cleanest areas, and we know what AQI in Delhi is like. So there is probably scope for collaboration in happiness and clean air and essentially quality of life. But essentially my question to you is that as a Baltic state, as a small Baltic state of a few million people, what's in it for Estonia? The FTA, this summit, what are your expectations? What are your expectations from this summit? And Estonia has major strengths in, AI, technology, innovation. How can it enhance India-Estonia collaboration in this?
Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It's a pleasure to see so many of you. And of course, we have a very interesting setting here today, Italy being one of the biggest member states, and more than Estonia, the very small member states. Manish, you mentioned few millions. Estonian population is actually 1.37 million. So I always say, let's take Indian population size and remove some zeros. Then we end up at the, yes, we are even smaller, so. But still, Estonia is a very small country. And I do have to go back a little bit into the history. Estonia joined the European Union in 2004. It was the expansion round of 10 countries. Malta joined at the same time. We applied for the membership in 1995. And after quite exhaustive negotiations for 6 years, difficult negotiations, I can tell you, we then finally joined. And Estonia was the only country having no transition period in our European agreement. Just to compare the current situation with our situation back at that time, agriculture, many people in Estonia were very worried about agriculture. Producers were thinking that many European producers are coming, taking over our markets, starting to bring in cheap goods from Italy, for example, but of course also from other countries. Of course, the products arrived on our markets, but nothing happened to Estonian producers because many people still prefer to buy locally produced goods, and in connection to have very clean country, we also prefer to have clean environmentally products. So this is also something we are promoting. But at the same time, Estonians have always been traders. We are a trading nation. We used to be part of the Hanseatic League. So it's really nice to see actually that the FTA is connecting us again, as Hanseatic League was connecting us in the history. In our capital, Tallinn, there is a pharmacy, and the pharmacy is one of the oldest ones in Europe, and the only one which has been operating on the same spot in the same building. The exact date of the establishment of this pharmacy is not known, but mid-15th century they already had the third owner, and funnily they were producing, of course, all kinds of balsams and tinctures. And they used a lot of spices. And you can guess where the spices were coming from. The spices were coming from India. So Indian goods were in the northern part of Europe already centuries ago. Coming to the current situation, of course, my Italian colleague already mentioned several expectations we have from the summit. But coming to the FTA, we, as a small country, we are supporting, of course, an FTA, even if it is not going to be in the full form, having some exclusions. It is still going to be a milestone in the relations of Europe and India. We are here talking about two very big markets. The gains for both sides are huge. And especially for Estonia, what we see, as mentioned, we are quite strong in digital services and AI. I can say that Estonia is currently the most digital country in the world. 100% of government services are online. Maybe half a year ago I was still saying 99%, now it's 100% because in the autumn we already decided that also getting divorced is now possible online. Getting married was already possible before, now it's already getting divorced. Not needed. So we are really hoping that FTA is bringing also new possibilities regarding digital services. We do have already some digital services on Indian market, but there could be much more. There is a huge possibility for improvement there. AI, of course, yes, again, numerous amount of possibilities. Just last week I was participating in a PhD event. It was called, I wrote it down, Astitva Saman event. So awards for junior entrepreneurs, I might say, school kids, young ladies who have invented several very interesting apps using AI. And immediately, of course, I started to think that the possibilities are there. Estonia is planning to be part of AI Summit, which is happening now mid-February. We have a delegation coming. And I guess there are plenty of opportunities for us in AI. Financial services have been mentioned already before. Again, this is a field we are very, very active. But as the Italian colleague mentioned, it's not only about digital technology and services. The gist also for our exports, it's machinery, it's different equipment, it's technology. So there are also some similarities for us. But from Estonian side, what we would like to see? We would like to see an ambitious, balanced, mutually beneficial free trade agreement, which would elevate our economic and trade cooperation to a new level, bringing possibilities for businesses, bringing possibilities for citizens. And the result could be a pragmatic, future-focused deal with India. It was mentioned what Madame von der Leyen said in Davos, but she also said that she, as a representative of Europe, Europe wants to cooperate, work with the growth centers of the world. And of course we all agree that India is one of those centers.
Thank you, Excellency, for this very pithy but very interesting, your interesting remarks. And what are really fascinating, the immense digital possibility in the area of human relations, including marriage and divorce and the rest. So thank you so much.
That's the secret for it.
Right.
If I may add, Manish, we have been cooperating with India in digital sphere for a long time already.
Right,
when
right.
India was introducing the Aadhaar card, also Estonian ID card was investigated and some features were taken from there. And now we also have cybersecurity cooperation.
Right. Okay, so we have come to the end of the first round. I have the temptation to abuse my moderator's privilege and ask some more questions, but I'll refrain from doing so and open it to the audience. We'll take 3 questions in first round. Also wish to make it clear that we have just 10 to 12 minutes to wind up this session. So I'll urge speakers to be precise and pointed in their replies. Yes, please raise your hands. And the question should be very precise. Please don't, no comments please.
Hi, this is Sushma here. how can India's millet find place in European cuisine? India's millets find place in European cuisine, in your pasta and your breads.
Any other question? We'll take 3 or 4 questions. Yeah. Wait. No, we'll come to you later. Anybody else? Yeah. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Sally. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Good evening, this is Yeshi Seli from Business India. I have just one question. You've talked about the stumbling blocks in the India-EU FTA. Notwithstanding that, how optimistic are you that next week we'll be able to sign the deal?
Ambassador Bhatia, please. Please bring the mic here.
Thank you very much, ambassadors. Very illuminating. My question is, India-EU FTA has been under discussion stroke negotiation from 2011, 14 years. What has made it happen now?
Okay. One more question, Padma. Okay.
Hello, this is Arun Kumar Das. In this time of geo-turbulence, Ukraine and Greenland, do you think this our EU-FTA thing will be green-roaded? Should we maintain the...
Sorry, what?
I mean, the red light you are maintaining on the agriculture.
Right.
So should we go ahead with this, or should we maintain our red line in this FTA?
So who is this question addressed to? Anybody?
Ambassador.
Ambassador. No, he's talking about red lines in agriculture sector, whether India should maintain those red lines?
Yeah.
So that yes, Padma, one more.
Good evening, I'm Padma Rao. I'm a long-standing political correspondent for the European media. I'm just wondering, I'd like to, in continuation to what the ambassador just said, to an extent the negotiations have been going on for very long over the FTA between the EU and India. So is this a child, sort of born out of backlash, a shotgun wedding, if you like? I mean, and how genetically stable can such a progeny be? Because there are, as you said, there are a lot of geopolitical shocks going on right now. But there is also political upheaval at play, and I express specifically this to the Italian ambassador within your own countries. So, when we're talking about movement of people and manpower, how stable is this FTA going to be in light of these two issues? One, internationally, what's happening? Is it a backlash, and is it emanating from a backlash? And secondly, within Europe itself, Europe is becoming more inward-looking. So, how helpful is that going to be for the movement of manpower on which both Europe is keen and the Indian government? Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have maybe another round, time permitting. Madam Ambassador, would you like to respond to any of these questions?
Yeah. Let's start with... has some timing. Starting with Indian millets. Millets are very healthy as far as I know, at least, so the possibility is certainly there. Currently, I guess we don't see them too much on the European markets, but I can say that Indian, at least in case of Estonia, Indian cuisine is very, very loved. We have several Indian restaurant chains already, so I don't see any reason why they couldn't use millets more and also to promote it. And of course, it's the job of the embassies, in this case, Indian embassy in Thailand, to promote more Indian food industry. But how optimistic are we regarding the signing of this deal? We are very optimistic. So hopefully next week is going to bring very good news. Of course, it has been a very difficult process, very long process, as you mentioned. But what we see currently is it is giving us some ground to be optimistic. So of course signing might take still some more time, but political will is there, and I hope the parties are going to reach some kind of result.
Before we end, there is just one small question which I'd like Ambassador especially to address. In 1 minute, please. They're the most feared man right now in Donald Trump. And India and the EU both are at the receiving end of tariff aggression. Do you think this FTA will enhance our strategy, the room for maneuver vis-a-vis the United States? That is, it gives us more strategic space, you know, it's not a frivolous space.
I guess it's also one of the reasons why we have been moving ahead with this agreement.
Right.
So this has been one of the driving forces. Yeah, we are facing the same challenges, and the future is difficult to predict because we don't know what every new day brings. But it looks now that we are going to face more tariffs also from European side, as the issue over Greenland is unfortunately getting some speed. So yes,
Okay.
I tend to agree.